So remember how the Biden administration put up a bunch of fuss about red lines in Israel and how the treatment of the West Bank and the settlers' behavior in the West Bank and the expansions of the settlements are all bad and such and such? Okay, well, they're invading the West Bank now. They've been shooting at ambulances, like full on, like just like trying to kill the drivers. I wonder how all the people who argue that Israel was engaging in anything other than an eliminationist genocide, like how do you square this? It's the West Bank. There were like 20,000 refugees here, and they've sieged it. The Israeli siege of the West Bank city of Janine has left Palestinians with no food, water, or electricity, with medical charity Doctors Without Borders accusing Israeli forces of obstructing access to health facilities and targeting ambulances. All basic necessities, including bread inside the refugee camp, no longer exist. The Israeli military brought in reinforcements on Sunday after demolishing shops and bulldozing streets while preventing tens of thousands of Palestinian civilians from accessing humanitarian aid in a step described as a war crime. Bulldozed nearly 70% of the city's streets and 20 kilometers of its water and sewage network since it's launched its raids on August 28th. 80% of the refugee camp, home to 20,000 people, is left without water access. It's the West Bank, guys. I mean, what's their line for this? Times of Israel, Janine. Like, what is Zionist media? Soldier killed in fierce clashes with Janine as IDF presses major West Bank operation. Like, why they say a raid is happening? Why is a raid happening? Like, is there a point? Are we gonna pretend there's a point? Because the obvious reason is just to enact a terror regime that, you know, like this is all part of the genocide. Yes, but what's their reason? Like, are they providing one? According to an initial IDF probe, troops carrying out a raid in Janine why were you carrying out the initial raid? Encountered 2 gunmen considered to be prominent members of the Hamas terrorist group. Was that okay? That was the initial raid. What was the original reason for being here? Wiki article, 2024 Israeli military option to the Northwest West Bank. Israel has called its operation summer camps, while Palestinian militants have labeled the response as horror of the camps. Okay, that's great. It's all going so well. Israel says its goal is to stop Palestinian militant activity in the West Bank. Dude, remember when Biden said this was a red line? This is like 7 miles over the red line. Israel said the raids were aimed to thwart Palestinian suicide bombings following a failed attempt in Tel Aviv. This is what I said. You can never eliminate Hamas because Hamas to the Israeli regime means any resistance from Palestinians. And they will always resist as long as they are kept in an apartheid state. And the only way to stop that is to either end apartheid, which they won't do, or kill them all. From city to city, IDF chief vows no safe haven for terror in West Bank. Great. It's impossible to ever satisfy Israel's end of the standard for peace. There will never be a point where Israel can claim that its security needs are met as long as there's a single Palestinian left alive. Because the treatment of the Palestinian people will always foment resistance. There's no way around it. The operation in the northern West Bank saw hundreds of troops dismantling terror infrastructure, like roads. Since the operation began on Tuesday, some 30 terrorists have been eliminated, with the focus on the Janine refugee camp, a key terror hub in the region. That's great, man. I'm sure all of that's true. I mean, it's from Ynet News, so it's insane how all media just copies the narrative that all resistance in the West Bank is terrorism, while at the same time recognizing the entire Israeli presence there is illegal under international law. Yeah, but in following with international law, like Palestinian militants shooting at people who approach would be, like, that would conform to their legal, they're being invaded, you know? There is absolutely no pretense to Israeli authority in the West Bank settlements because they're illegal under international law. Like, that is the terrorism. Yeah, it'd be like calling the Warsaw Uprising terroristic, which, you know, the Nazis did. There's no reason to even listen for their excuses because there will always be one. You might as well legit like oh, this roundup in Warsaw is monstrous. But is there a reason? I will go now to Berlin to ask you know, the Nazi party's propaganda head, hey, is there a reason you've been doing this? Oh yeah, they were like doing demonic witchcraft or something. They stole kids? I don't know. Yeah, we got them. Oh, okay. I guess they did have a reason. Like, it doesn't mean anything. Vosh, the wiki page for 2023 Janine Incursion asks you which of the 4 you're looking for. Yeah. That's great, man. That's great. You missed this Ben-Gvir Hitler moment from a few weeks back. Oh, I saw this, yeah. Ben-Gvir said he would build a synagogue at Jerusalem's Al-Aqsa Mosque, which they destroyed, right? Al-Aqsa Mosque, a holy site in Islam, also held sacred by Jews as the Temple Mount. Ben-Gvir, who has repeatedly ignored the government's long-standing ban on Jews praying at the site, filmed a video statement where during a visit to the compound of his opposition to any ceasefire in the Gaza war. Was this the one that was destroyed, or was it a different one? What was the most recent mosque that was destroyed? The, like, ancient mosque? No, it wasn't this one. It was a different one. That was Khan Yunis, maybe, that I was thinking of. I don't know. So many of them have been destroyed. Yeah, man, this is definitely the equipment that you use to destroy IEDs. You know, I'm not a big expert on military vehicles and their uses, but traditionally when you destroy IEDs, you actually have to dredge under the asphalt and destroy the entire road. That's typically how you do it. That's normally where people place IEDs, under 6 inches of asphalt. You know, that's like the most effective place to plant an IED. And the strike is heating up as well. How do you stay optimistic at a time like this? By banning people who ask questions like that of me. Please shut the fuck up. Oh my god, every time I look at chat, I look at, like, for 1 second I was looking at the video. I'm despairing. What do? I don't care what you do. Drink some water. Tel Aviv airport suspends flights as part of nationwide strike. Huh. A strike that threatens to shut down the entire Israeli economy has been called by the country's largest labor union to push the government to secure a hostage and ceasefire deal for all of the, like, 2 hostages that are left, since some were found dead recently. I'm sorry, I feel bad for banning that guy. I shouldn't have. You gotta, I'm not your damn dad, okay? Senior Hamas official blames Netanyahu for deaths of 6 Israeli hostages, Al Jazeera reports. I believe that. Said they were killed by Israeli strikes. Israel's health ministry said they were killed by short-range shots about 48 to 72 hours before being examined by an autopsy. I just don't believe them. I just don't believe them. Why would I believe that? Why the hell would Hamas execute their own hostages? Do people in Israel agree with this war? The people of Israel want the Palestinians mulched, but they don't want Netanyahu doing it, and they want the 4 hostages that are alive back. Yeah, here we go. Ceasefire talks thrown into tumult after the discovery of hostages killed in Gaza. Police use stun grenades to disperse protesters in Tel Aviv. It's been getting crazy out there. Mass arrests, spraying water on people, and you've got apparently the threat of the nationwide strike. That's what Israel is saying, Benjamin. I doubt it, though. Do you think the protests and strikes will have any effect on Netanyahu's actions? Somebody hasn't been paying attention. The strike has been stopped by the courts, and the protests have been going on basically non-stop since October 7th. Netanyahu says Israel will strongly retaliate against Hamas for killing of 6 hostages. Oh, wow. You're going to take aggressive action, are you? What a stark difference from your previous way of engaging with the situation. Biden, we're in the middle of negotiations on a possible hostage deal. Wow. A statement, a headline that you could find from any point in time in between now and, like, November 2023. James O'Brien spoke with an Israeli journalist, claims the forensics say they were murdered hours before recovered. No, I understand that. I'm just saying that I will never, ever, ever trust any rep of the Israeli government when it comes to anything like this. However, if a rep for Hamas is saying that they adopted a policy of killing hostages they think have a chance of being rescued, then that's different. Though the way this information is being presented is kind of weirdly disjointed. Hamas's latest statement appears to confirm both the victims were murdered because the IDF was coming too close to rescuing them, and the statement in mind is over here. We say to everyone clearly after the Nuseirat incident, new instructions were issued to the Mujahideen assigned to guard the prisoners regarding dealing with them. The occupation army approached their place of detention. Mujahideen? I assume that means something different in Arabic than the group formerly named the Mujahideen. Yeah, the soldiers, right, yeah. So what they're going off of here is that Abu Obaida is claiming that after the Nusayrat hostage rescue, they're saying that they have new policies with regard to treatment of hostages when the IDF comes close, and from that they're implying they mean that they were shot. Now, it could be the case. Be pretty stupid of them to do so, but I guess maybe from their perspective, they figure that Israel's not going to stop no matter what, so it doesn't matter anymore. Netanyahu denies Hamas executed hostages due to his insistence on core demands. I think it would have been pretty stupid if Hamas did execute those 6 hostages. That being said, it is true that, like, apparently having the hostages doesn't actually make any difference with regards to, like, Israel's treatment of the Palestinians, right? Like, the whole point of having the hostages is to use them as leverage in negotiations, but apparently Netanyahu doesn't give a single shit and will just kill all of them anyway. So in an environment like that, I guess it kind of disincentivizes Hamas from treating the hostages well, which I would put the blame for that on Netanyahu because, you know, it's kind of being done in response to the massacre of the Palestinian people. Still stupid of Hamas to do it. You shouldn't kill hostages. Isn't there a workers' strike going off right now in Israel? Or because of the dead hostages? No, the court shut that down. How does a court stop it? By ruling a strike illegal. How did a court shut down a workers' strike? By ruling it illegal. Not gonna lie, believing Hamas over the hostage situation is bad optics and kind of stupid. Yeah, that's definitely what you should do. Just immediately trust statements made by Israel with regards to Hamas or the Palestinians. Are you stupid? Are you like actually an idiot? Are you kidding me? Why would you ever how much overt lying do they have to do before you say I'm gonna wait on a second source, which is what I did, you know? I love trusting the IDF. I mean, the incentive for ending the war quickly is to save as many hostages as possible. So if Hamas kills some, it would theoretically push Israel to ending it before more can die. Yeah, Luke McAdams. But Netanyahu has just said, flatly just said, that he refuses to accept any hostage deal or any ceasefire that requires him to completely end the war. He has said, no matter what, the war will continue until the Hamas threat is eliminated. But of course, we know that's a line that will never, ever be met. Hostages' families praise Biden's comment that Netanyahu's not doing enough to secure release. What do we do when the other shoe finally drops and we just acknowledge that the hostages are all dead? Like, what do you do then? Or do we continue this ludicrous pretense with like exchange for the hostage bodies? Are we gonna like Biden is gonna be like, we are frantically working towards a hostage body exchange and like that's going to be the new indefinite like line, the new treadmill that we continue to walk on? Israel wants those bodies. No, I know that, but like, how many living hostages are there left even? Just keeps going and going and going. Any statement from the U.S. government? Yes, Biden adamantly insists he is working on a ceasefire deal. Netanyahu vows to hurt Hamas in a way Israel hasn't done before. They're finally going to use nukes. I get Israeli courts say the protest is illegal, but it looks like the masses don't care and are still protesting from what I'm reading. Police crackdowns are happening but not working. I don't know how much I even care about the protests in Tel Aviv, considering the fact that polling would suggest the median Israeli thinks the war is more or less justified anyway. I don't know. Yeah, when I say stuff like that, I'm mostly pulling from this. Pew Research, May 30th. So this is relatively old, but still, you know, something of a litmus test. Israelis are divided over the country's military response against Hamas in Gaza. Percent who say Israel's military response against Hamas in Gaza has gone too far, 19%. Been about right, 39%. Not gone far enough, 34%. So the number of Israelis who want more death or think the amount of death currently happening is about right are 3/4. Almost exactly 3/4. Percent who say Israel will succeed or fail in achieving its goals in the war against Hamas, for which 67% think they will probably or definitely succeed, and only 19% think they will definitely or probably fail. That's more like 4/5. If you include don't know, which I guess you probably should, because you should know, and then you have the Jews versus Arabs polling difference. Only 4% of Israeli Jews think Israel's military response against Hamas in Gaza has gone too far. 4% of Israeli Jews. The percent of people who do think that they've gone too far are the Arabs in Israel. 4%. You cannot find any issue on which the average American is this Hitlerite. You genuinely can't. You will find more evangelicals who support gay marriage than 4%. Yeah, it turns out you actually get really, really, really bad political opinions from people who are active participants in a settler colonial state, that are built on, apartheid and genocide. Vosh, but the Poles are the devil. No, this is Pew Research. They actually have a pretty effective and knowing methodology. Vosh, is it possible they just don't know what's going on? No. Seems like regime change is the only real solution. Well, it wouldn't change the political predisposition of the population. I want them to say the breakdown by ethnicity of people who say that the response against Hamas has not gone far enough. And it would be like 0 Arabs, half of Jews. Vosh, are they all fascists? I mean, like, most of them, yeah. Only half of the Jews in Israel in this poll had a negative opinion of Benjamin Netanyahu. Left-wing and center-left parties in Israel get less than 15% of the total vote. Yep, it's just Rhodesia shit. Almost no Israeli Arabs want Israel to govern the Gaza Strip after the war, whereas half of Israeli Jews think that it should do so. A plurality of Arabs would like the people who live in Gaza to decide who governs. Only 8% of Jews want people who live in Gaza to rule themselves. And ironically, Lebanon is more progressive than Israel. In some ways, it wouldn't surprise me. Can you link this out? It's just Pew Research, Israeli views the Israel-Hamas war. Is there a reason they're so far right? Active, settler, colonial project. It's not just a normal country involved in a foreign war or whatever. It's like Rhodesia. It's like South Africa circa initial Dutch occupation. The entire existence of Israel is the existence of a current ongoing displacement of the existing ethnic population. What was up with Rhodesia? Just Google Rhodesia. It's like the Belgian Congo, you know? Like, yeah, you don't have to, in America today, you don't need to have an opinion on Native Americans, right? No one cares because we won the settler colonial project. It's over. The only thing now is just the bureaucratic cleanup of like, what do you do with reservations or what have you? It's not like Israel. Every day in Israel, they're bombarded with propaganda about how they need to be strong to survive, and the Arab world is trying to kill them, and Hamas is trying to kill them, and Hezbollah is trying to kill them, and the Houthis are trying to kill them, and Iran is trying to kill them, and Syria is trying to kill them. Everyone's trying to kill them, and only by being the lion, only by being the strong Israeli Jew can they repel the foreign hordes and bring civilization to the Middle East and so on and so forth. You get day-by-day propaganda like that about Native Americans? When was the last time you got propaganda about our victory over the Native Americans? Ridiculous. Completely incomparable. It's an ongoing settler colonial project. I listened to what the breakdown of Abu Ubaidah said in Arabic, and what he said translated is, would Israel rather return these hostages on a bus with a ceasefire deal or in coffins they continue the war? Well, that doesn't necessarily imply that Hamas killed them, but I think there were other statements about their treatment of hostages that are relevant. I disagree. America is still wrangling with Native Americans. Then you're not listening to the point. You disagree because you weren't listening to what I said. What you thought I said was like the politics of Native American treatment in America are completely done. You didn't listen to what I said. A court ruling a strike illegal does not prevent people from striking. That's not a smart take. Really? People can still do illegal things? What a novel take on the situation. That hadn't occurred to me. I mean, you can point to countless examples of judges ruling strikes illegal, stopping the strike. If you wanted to, it'd be pretty easy. Canada does that like 40 times a year. But no, you can interpret what I said uncharitably and assume that what I meant was it is literally impossible to do illegal things, which is definitely the position that I had. Thank you for correcting me. I hate the covering the Israel stuff, man. I mean, it's obviously important. It's politically valuable, but it's like, damn, can't wait to learn more about how everything's getting worse and nothing's changing.